There you going. It's up there. I'll show you in a second. Brand new, well, brand new second hand, but a bloody good one. Kayak, but not your average kayak, prowler. And not the old Prowler 13 that I used to fish with, but the Prowler 4.3, which is an extra bit longer, faster, and you can take it in wider, deeper water, way out wide if you want to. Wow, before I show you what it looks like, let me tell you one thing. If you want to get fish for your family, fish for your friends, fish for yourself, there is no better way than a kayak. It's stealth, it's absolutely quiet, cost you no fuel to run. Man, you get out there, when you're in that cockpit, you've got a 360-degree view of the sea. You're in touch with the sea, using your upper body, your breathing, your heart, your lungs are going, your eyes, your ears, everything's in tune. No worries about bloody trailers and parking at the ramp and waiting to queue up. You just slip it in the water and you're away. You're like a stealth, clean, keen killing machine. Anyway, I'm at the end of the driveway. I'm going to poke this out the window and give you a little glimpse. And then when we get down the water, I'll show you the whole thing. She's green, she's lean, and it's going to be a killing machine. Beautiful day here in Ruby Bay. Look at that. Oh, there's a shag fishing right in close there. Right there, just come up with a fish in its mouth. That's always a good sign. I'll follow the birds. Quite partial to a shag when I'm out fishing. Now, local knowledge is everything. If you're one of my patrons, hit me up as well and I'll take you for a fish, because now I've got 2 kayaks. I've got a second one, so the second other one, the old one, you guys can take out. And I'll also let you know the exact time of when to go out, when you're going to have the most success and when you're not, and I'll share it with you. So if you're not on my Patreon, then consider joining. It doesn't cost much. You can spend as little as $3 a month and you'll get all the info and you'll have success. I'll bring you success, because I've been fishing here a lot of years now. I'm not the best fisherman, but I'm one that does constantly catch fish all the time. I don't have a big boat, but I've got a little boat that catches a lot of fish, and that's all we need to keep our hungry mouths fed back at the old homestead. Grossie Point, Mapua, we're at the top of the South Island, New Zealand. Snow on the mountains over there, and a bit of snow over on Mount Nevis over there too. And a cold breeze blowing in, so I'm going to put a jersey on. Tide's coming in, we're going to paddle over that island, which is Rabbit Island over there. We're going to work that point around there. There's shellfish growing around there. Where there's shellfish, there's often small fish, tiny little fish. Where there's tiny little fish, there's bigger fish feeding on them. And where there's those little fish, about that size, the kahawai come in and feed on those. So that's where we're going to target today. First thing is get this beast off, get in the water and go through it with you. Cheers, Darren. So here we've got this beautiful system at the back, which you can control up front. You can lift your rudder up, you can drop it down. Here's our local dog ranger. Here you can control it with that, which is just perfect for coming into shallow water. It's got nice new handles on the side. It's a 4.3. Got plenty of storage up here. And of course what we've got is we've got this storage area in here. This nice pod. So I'm putting the fish in there today rather than the chili bin. Well, I think I am. Normally you put your gear in there, but for this little fish, we'll see how we go. Not sure. I've got a really nice seat. They're not one of those generic seats, but a nice firm seat, which I just love the look of that. Got a lead so I can't lose this over the side. Came with that. Got my knife in there. Got area for storage in the front. It's nice and long and sleek. And the rod holder I've got a knife in, but I might put my rod later on. Heaps of room in the back. It's a beautiful machine. Come on, a little bit more rolling maybe. I'll get used to it. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I like that. That feels nice. Oh, lovely. Oh, yes. Oh, she paddles really smooth. Really smooth. Oh, I'm loving this. This is a gift from Mason Cow on this reel. He also gifted me the rod, and then it got snapped by one of the young guys I look after, Damo, and he replaced it. Daiwa, really good. I'm using a heavy one. It's a 40-gram slice, and I've got a 40-pound mono on that there, and the actual braid on there is about a 30. Right, it's quite heavy, so it sinks, so I need to cast behind me and move. Bit of a funny rod holder. I think I need something else in there. It's not quite right. Wait until we stick it in here. We put it in there. That's a better place. Yeah, that looks better. I like that. I'm going to go over this island over here and take some layers off because I'm starting to cook, padding this very, very swift channel. It's moving pretty strong, and I'm starting to overheat, so I'm going to take some layers off and might have a little cast off the beach just up here. I want to get it a bit closer, maybe. Oh, want to get a hit? No, this is good. How you can see your rod in the front. I like that. I'll just go over here. Beautiful. There's a mussel bed right here. It's a place where a lot of the nesting birds come. We don't want to disturb them too much, but oh, she's shallow there. Gotta move a bit faster. It's swift water. Coming over here now. Just up on the beach. It's the first bit of a paddle. I'm learning about my new craft, and I think this pod in the middle is not going to be for fish. It's going to be for all my personal items. I can see it makes more sense to use the bin on the back, lift it up and put everything I want to keep dry in here. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I can put my my phone out of my pocket. I can put that in there too. That makes a lot of sense. Put it back down and put this leg up. Just to keep one will be enough. Keep it down. I'll do one on the side too. Good. It's an absolute majestic day. Oyster catchers. No birds working the water. The water's clear, the visibility is good. It'd be really good to come down here and do some floundering, maybe later tonight. Just going to put a cast out here. It's 40 grams, really good to get a good distance without trying too hard. It's quite shallow here, but a good place to catch a fish. I don't see any birds around suggesting there's fish coming up, but this time of the year there's always the odd one sneaking through, so we'll put a couple of casts in here and then we'll carry on the kayak, go across the other side. Just good to cover the ground. See if there's any fish following that in. Even it's quite a big lure, so if it's going to catch something it's going to be a bigger fish. Nothing on that one there. So we've got a fork here, got water coming out this way, water that way. So a really cool place is actually right up the guts. I'll put one up the guts of it, there we go, into the sun. And quite shallow on that point too, so we get, oh! Well, I'd say that was the ground. Oh, no, that's a strike. Got a strike then. We got a strike or we got the ground? No, I think we got a fish on. Yeah, we've got a fish on. We're on. Got hit straight away. Second cast, how about that? Second cast. Good place, nice place to get a fish. And it's a good one too. He's coming in. Oh, nice. Just got to keep the pressure on. That's a good fish, that. Coming in quite quick. Oh, we're going to follow him down. He's going to try and run. Here's a good fish. Oh, going to try there. Oh, you're going to run now. Beautiful. Just keep that pressure on. These fish, they play quite hard. A bit like a trout, a bit like a salmon. The Australians tend to call them salmon, although they're not really a salmon, they're a kahawai. Oh, we lost him. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. It's fishing. We know they're out there. I'll just try that again so we can put it in the same place, but they're obviously feeding out this point here. Fish right there, right in front of us. Right there in front of us, right here. Let's go about past him. Or a wee bit to the right. Slow it down. A wee bit to the right. Fish just there. We've got fish just there. We're going to get hit. You watch this. There we go. We're on. There we go. We're on. We got him. Perfect. I saw him. I hunted him. I got him. But I ain't got him landed by a country mile. Not by a country mile. You can see the old kayak's not going to get much use if I can catch some land base here, but that's alright. Kayak got me to it. Keep the pressure on. He's going to rise in a minute. No, he's going to run. Just trying to get that lure out. There you go, I can see him in the water. He's not a big fish, but he's the size I want for eating. Here he comes. Ah, he's going to try to keep out of these weeds. Here we go. And we got him on the land. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Look at that. Oh, he's a fatty too. Oh, he's a fatty. Oh yes, he's a fatty. You're a fatty, aren't you? Eh? Oh, you're beautiful. You're my favourite eating size. Look at that. That's my favourite eating size right there. What a cracker. Look at him. Beautiful. Right, put this beast on the truck, go home and do some cooking. Well, back home at the farm, let's reflect on my new second-hand Prowler 4.3 and also compare it to the Prowler 13. Now, I only had an hour to spare fishing yesterday, so I couldn't do everything I wanted to do. One thing that did happen when I got home and I took this off the truck is I measured it had about 1.5 litres of water in it, so she's got a leak somewhere. Now, leaks will generally be where there's screws, and there's only one place in this kayak that there's screws, and that's here at the stern there. And also the sacrificial keel at the back that just goes probably for about, I don't know, 8 inches long. It has these 3 screws here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take those out and I want to put some sealant in around the screw and put them back in. Now I phoned up Robert that I bought it off and he was really good. He said, hey, you can give it back and get your money back, but ideally I don't want to do that. I want to get this baby going and fix that problem up. The other thing he said to me is maybe this bung in the front was loose. Well, it wasn't. I tightened it and untightened it, but that would only let a minuscule amount of water in, even if you're in a big sea. I also found on the side of it these here. I don't know what they are, so if you guys know what they're for, I don't understand the logic in them. They're so close together you can't do them up tight, so it doesn't make sense. Can somebody maybe cast some light on that, because I don't know what they're for. We've got this hatch here which has got a lock in it, water can't get into there. And I've had a really good look at the hull underneath and I can't find any fractures or cracks. There's the usual scratches, but nothing deep enough that would suggest there's a leak. So I'm going to go over the screws at the back, so we'll report back and see how we get on that. Maybe we find that tightening them up with a bit of RTV or silicone in there fixes the problem. What also came with this kayak is this Humminbird 346C DI fish finder, which I don't know how to use and I probably won't use it. Well, actually not 100% true that. I probably will use it. I'll probably use it when I go really wide so I can measure the depth, just to know the depth. But I won't be using it for finding fish because I'm topical for catching fish, what's going on top of the water, and also what I'm picking up off the bottom when I'm fishing. And that's always been my way and it's served me well. Not to say that fish finders aren't great, I just haven't used them. There's some really good ones on the market that will increase your fishing and your amount of fish you're catching, but to date I haven't seen the benefits for myself. Maybe I do, maybe it's something I've got yet to explore and find out, look forward to doing. Pros and cons comparing the Prowler 4.3 to the Prowler 13. One of the things would be that, the cons would be that lifting it is a little bit harder. For me to lift it up onto my truck, it's a little bit heavier for me to lift. That's a wee bit harder, but you'd expect that. The other thing would be is I don't have a place yet to put my paddle, and that's only because on the Prowler 13 I always tuck my paddle under these straps. So I'm going to make something up. There is these in the front here, but I need something a little bit easier to get to. There's really nothing else I can say that's against it. It's just a beautiful craft, and being a little bit longer, it pokes through the water better. And it's got more storage area in the front. It's got more storage here. It's got storage there. Once I get on top of this this leak problem, I think my Prowler Ultra 4.3 is going to be my go-to. So let's look at the size difference. If we line the two noses right up side by side and track the full length of these beasts, I would say that the 4.3 is probably, I don't know if it shows on camera as well, but from my perspective it's probably maybe not quite 1/2 metre longer. A lot bigger when you get it in the water, you can feel it's a lot bigger. It's definitely a longer craft than the Prowler 13. One criticism I'll make, but it's also a positive, the Prowler 13 doesn't have these roll holes in the front. You've always got your rods behind you. So you get a strike and you're talking away on your camera like, g'day folks, how you going? Meanwhile there's a fish in the background, you guys can all see it, and I don't know it's on until I can feel it jerking the kayak around a bit. So this one here's got them in the front. Having said that, they just need to be about that much further forward, because I just hit it with my paddle. If they were there, that would be better. Which leads me to thinking I need to put something on myself, build something that's there, because they're just a little bit too far forward. I can't get a full stroke. Also, this is way better than this, although I like to stick my paddle under those. They're cumbersome to get away, the straps, you've got to clip them off. This is simply unlock it and it comes off with it like that there. I've kept the sponge in here, and this is what you use for getting your water out, and I have given it a good clean out, most of it, and it seems to be okay. Nothing more's come in with the rain, so we can assume that the water is coming from the hull on the bottom, because we've had a lot of rain, as you can see by the mud on the farm just overnight, and there's no extra water in there. Second hand, I paid $1,250 for this, and that was what the price was. And when I bought it off Robert, I didn't quibble with the price because I thought that was reasonable for what I was getting. And also he threw in this, and what I like about this here is the chain. You've got to have a bit of chain on your anchor line. Well, you don't have to, but it makes it a lot better. It means that your anchor's going to sit on the bottom. It came with this tiny little anchor, which is pretty small. Having said that, if you've got a chain, a little anchor will grip the bottom a lot better than a big one without a chain, because it lays it flat. So that's another cool thing. Before I wind this video up, I want to show you what's in the tackle box. The actual box itself, I bought that from the mega store. They're cheaper than buying them from the hunting and fishing shop or sports shops, way cheaper, so you can buy your own one there. These are my used junkie jigs. I don't throw them away, I keep them. You can touch them up with nail polish. I have yet to do that, but I keep hold of them. And these are different compartments for also my junkie jigs. That there is a drifter. That's an 80-gram drifter. So you've got your actual lure itself. In the case of this drifter here, it's got a nice eye and it's got that sort of sundown look about it. That's the 80. And then there's our hooks. And these hooks here are the best hooks on the planet. There's not a hook that I have found that's sharper. I don't have to bother sharpening them. I do have actually a hook sharpener, but I don't use on those because they are so sharp. And with that one there, I'd be using a red skirt. So we tie it in. This has actually got actually threaded, so it's come off a little. So that's how it sits up there. You've got your hooks, goes through that little piece, and then it threads through the nose of that, and that's our slow jig. So these slow jigs are from Junkie Jigs, and my favourite to date is, you probably heard it before, but is the Falcor. This one here just seems to catch a lot of fish. And then we've got the big Falcor as well. That's a 200 gram. That's 80 gram. Okay, let's go through the lures that I've got. So these are brass twists. That one there is quite a light one and a popular one. Probably the best you could go for is it's a 25 gram. Then we've got these, they're called whopper stoppers. That's a hex, and these are great. These ones here are actually these are 40 grams. These are quite a heavy one. It's a 40 gram. This is a 20 here, half the size. And these Ticers are really good for a good cast. This one here's got that nice pattern on it. On that side there, you've got the scales, and then on this side you've got those nice prisms that you get that look really cool and catch the sun. Although eventually these do fall off. These are all for kahawai, but this is actually a bigger one. This is a 60 gram. It's a brass twist coated with, I guess it's chromium, and again those prisms on there on both sides. What I love about all of these ones is the treble barb. I'm a treble barb man, not a single, and I like a decent treble, doesn't stretch out. These are like these really strong ones. I'm not a big fan of the Gillies Pilchard, although I do keep a couple in here. That one there is quite a heavy one. It's a 30, I think, or 28, and the one underneath is I think it's a 25. I think it's actually fine. It's written on the side of it there somewhere. This came from Australia, this one. Yeah, it's a 25. There it goes there at the end of it. So the 30's a little bit bigger and gives us that good reach. There's all my skirts for the Junkie Jigs. That's my box, and I always keep these with me. These are some 12s. Great for catching the little bait fish. Sabiki rigs catch everything. I've got a couple of those in there as well, and some skirts. So that's my tackle box. I also have this generic red one over here that I bought off my mate Simon for 500 bucks, and I've used that for guests, but now I've got the Prowler 13, which is a much nicer one. Nothing wrong with that kayak at all. They're a great kayak to buy second hand, guys, if you're going to buy one. I've got no affiliation with Prowler at all. I'm not getting for saying this. I've just caught heaps of fish out of them. I'd like to always recommend something that's good for me, be good for you. I hope you found this informative, this video, and of value. Smack the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to me if you like my content, just to keep me going. And most of all, be good. Or at least try and be good. If you can't be good, be careful. And I'll see you in the next video. See you later.